بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. With God's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. All the praise and the thanks belongs to Allah, the Lord of all the systems of knowledge, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer, master of the day of judgment. You do we worship, and it is your aid that we seek. Show us the straight way, the way of those on whom thou hast bestowed thy grace, not those whose portion is wrath, and not those who go astray. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum, dear believers. Welcome to our 2019 annual Muslim Convention Mosque Cares. Assalamu alaikum. How you feeling? Do y'all believe we've been doing this for 30 years? Huh? 30 years. Let's give us a round of applause for 30 years. This is our 30th year. Alhamdulillah, we thank you all for supporting the Mosque Cares and participating in the programs. And we have an excellent lineup for us today. This is what? 80 years of in the community, right? From the time of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
89.
Huh?
33.
How many? But yes, sir.
89.
Yes, sir. So that's in the Quran. It says what? Over 1,000 years is a lifetime. So we passed a lifetime. Is that right? Yes. So we've been doing this for a lifetime, and we thank Allah for you believers who have supported the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And some of you, many of you who heard the call of W.D. Farad, right? Yes, that's where it all started. You heard the call of W.D. Farad, and Sister Claire Muhammad heard his call, and she brought her husband, and here we are today. So we thank Allah for almost 100 years of service to the community of raising the dead. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillah. At this point, I'm going to call Brother Bismillah Hafiz, and he's going to bless us with the national anthem.
Thank you. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, who brought stripes and bright stars through the perilous night. For the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' great glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the hope of the
Thank you, Brother Bismillah. Let's give Brother Bismillah another round of applause. many of y'all were here for the banquet last night? Oh, yeah. Alhamdulillah, we had some nice entertainment, didn't we? Ah, yes, that's right. Alhamdulillah. Brother Bismillah blessed us last night also. Alhamdulillah. So we thank you for that. Alhamdulillah. So we're going to continue on with our program. At this point, I'd like to call up Brother Mario Lee, and he's representing the Census Bureau. Brother Mario Lee.
So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mario Lee. I'm a partnership specialist working for the U.S. Census Bureau. Basically, I'm here today just to give everybody a quick overview of why the 2020 census is important to you and people in your community, and the many jobs that we have available to people living in Essex County and basically anywhere in the country. So if you're visiting from like outside of New Jersey, whether you live in the DC area, California, or Hawaii, as long as you live in the United States, you can apply for a job with the U.S. Census, okay? So, first things first, the census is mandated by Article 1, Section 2 of the U.S. Constitution. So we are required by law to conduct a decennial census every 10 years. This started in 1790 and it has continued on since then. The census determines the number of seats that each state has in the House of Representatives. It also determines the congressional and legislative districts, school districts, and the voting districts. So your vote, well, actually not your vote so much, but your count or your presence in the census matters a great deal. It also determines the allocation of approximately $675 billion worth of federal funds. So anything from Section 8 to senior citizen programs, Head Start, free breakfast and free lunch for your kids, highways. So if you have potholes in Essex County, like we do in Deen County, we need federal funding to deal with those potholes, etc. So we really need people to be present and accounted for when the census comes next year. Also, the data that the U.S. Census Bureau collects provides insights for the government and business and the community planning groups, basically so they can conduct their business efficiently. So the motto for the upcoming 2020 census is to count everyone once, only once, and in the right place. So, privacy is a very important issue for people who are providing the data to the U.S. Census Bureau. So we want to make it very clear that all data collected is protected under Title 13. So any data collected will be used for statistical purposes only, and we're basically using it just so that we can conduct the census in a fair and sensible fashion. Just so you know that all federal employees are sworn to protect their private information. If we give your private information to any organization or anyone else for that matter, we can be in prison for up to 5 years or fined up to $250,000. So we take our responsibility very seriously, and we use the most advanced cybersecurity possible to protect your data. So just be well aware that any and all data collected by the U.S. Census Bureau will be protected. Right now, we're focusing on establishing where to count. So we're working with municipalities such as the Essex County, the cities in Essex County, and also the post office to basically check and confirm addresses with the addresses that we have in our database with the current addresses in the area. But we are also, most importantly, looking for partners to work with us so that we can really get the word out about the 2020 census. We're looking for people in the local communities. So in this case, we're looking for people in the Muslim American community to work with us, to partner with us so that we can reach people within your community. Specifically, especially for example, if they don't speak English and they speak predominantly Arabic, we would definitely we have partnership specialists who speak various languages such as Arabic, and we really want to work with people in your community so we can reach out to people who have a tendency to not respond to the census. So in terms of responding to the 2020 census, this year, the 2020 census, the upcoming one next year, it's going to be the first opportunity in history that you're going to be able to respond online. We have the option to respond online via the phone, paper, or you can have a visit from a numerator. Essentially, we have the campaign being conducted in English and Spanish, but we also have 12 other non-English languages that we can actually assist in. And any other, we have also various language guides in 59 other non-English languages. So just looking ahead to the 2020 census, right now we're in 2019 and we're in the process of opening up area offices. So there's going to be an office in South Plainfield, and we already have one in Trenton, but there's going to be an office in South Plainfield and one in Jersey City, and I believe one in Newark as well. In 2020, we're going to have an aggressive advertising campaign, which is going to start in early 2020. And Census Day is going to be April 1st, 2020. Now, the non-response follow-up, meaning the enumerators knocking on your doors, is going to start in March and in July. I just want to make it perfectly clear, if you fill out the form that you receive in the mail online, you will not get anyone knocking on your door, and you won't have to be bothered by the federal government at all. So that's a really good selling point, and I want you to be very aware of that. The earlier you respond, the less hassle that we can give you. And also, all of the information that we gather, we're going to, the appointment count, we're going to give to the president at the end of 2020. And redistricting for the states is going to start in March. Last but not least, what I really want to focus on more than anything else is we are in the process of recruiting. We are recruiting and hiring people for jobs all across the country for the census. So we would really appreciate if organizations such as yourself or people who work in your local community will put the word out about the census for the employment opportunities that we currently have available. Email blast your friends, email blast your coworkers, email blast the people at the mosque that you attend. Also, we're going to have various hiring events throughout the country, so if you just Google us, you'll definitely find us somewhere. Currently, we have two websites that we're using for the application process. We have 2020census.gov /jobs, and we also have usajobs.gov. We actually have a table outside right there to the right of us where we have a bunch of material about the upcoming 2020 census, and we have people talking about the jobs that we have available. So if you're interested, instead of us walking around giving you a bunch of flyers, you can actually go out there and speak with us directly, and we can definitely give you an idea of what we're looking for. Most importantly, the thing that we want to convey today is the importance of partnerships. So partnerships is, the U.S. Census Bureau is all about building partnerships with people in the local community. It's much more powerful to have someone who's a neighbor or a friend come knocking on your door and talk to you about the importance of census, as opposed to a federal employee who comes knocking on your door who you don't know and you just want to leave, most likely. So we really want to make a connection with people in the local community and really get an idea of why. We want to work with people in the local community to get an idea to help us convey the fact that the census is important to people in the community and why the census is important to the community. We are going to support our partners by providing materials in various languages. In addition to that, we're also going to be providing posters and in-language content. And we have numerous resources available to provide to our partners, including partnership specialists such as myself who will attend events to get the word out about the census. And last but not least, the thing that I would like to focus on is the Complete Count Committee. I'm well aware that some of the people in this room have already been forming Complete Count Committees. But Complete Count Committees are essentially a group of government and community leaders who come together to basically raise awareness about the 2020 census in local community and motivate the community to respond. So basically, elected leaders, leaders of schools, leaders of organizations, they head the Complete Count Committee, and they basically choose people within the community to support it. So if you have an idea of who has a really, really good connection with, for example, the 4th Ward in London, you can actually reach out to them and work with them to get an idea of how you want to reach the people in the 4th Ward or the people in who have a tendency to not respond to the census. Last but not least, we have a tool called Roam. The Response Outreach Area Map is available at census.gov/Roam, and you can actually put in your address or your city, and you can figure out the areas in your local community which have a tendency not to respond to the census. And you can actually work together with people in your local community to form a Complete Count Committee or a subcommittee to work together to reach out to that low response score area. We also have data dissemination programs that you can actually use to create business plans. So, this is very important for people who want to actually start a business. The U.S. Census Bureau collects information and demographics. So let's say you want to open up a business in downtown Newark. You can use the data that we provide there to actually draw up a business plan and, present that business plan to a bank so you can get a loan for a small business. So we provide a lot of valuable information that is definitely useful to anybody and everybody across the country. So you can connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or Pinterest. So thank you very much for giving me your time to present. I believe there's a sign in the front, no, there isn't. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So thank you very much for giving me your time, for allowing us to present. I apologize because I speak really fast, but that's just me. So thank you very much for your time and have a great day.
Thank you, Brother Mario Lee. Let's give him another round of applause.